attracted you to Illinois, Bret Bielema?
What attracted me to Illinois? Coach B, man. No, my first coordinator job was in the Big Ten at Minnesota, and I've always respected this program. And I've known Coach B for 30 years, and just the timing was right, and so I'm excited to be here. I think it's an awesome opportunity, and I'm sure y'all gonna say the DBs sucked last year and all that good stuff, which is cool, and I'm here to fix it. So better fix it. But no, everybody knows anything about college football knows Illinois it is a special place, and this day and age in college football, man, the difference in freaking going 10-2 and 6-6 ain't a whole lot of difference. So fired up to be here, excited.
How much of an influence did Coach Mason have on your career? You said you started with him and it was
No,
the first coordinator job.
well, Glenn Mason clearly gave me my first full-time job as a DB coach when I was 20. I can't remember. I was 25 or something at Kansas. Then we went to Minnesota and he hired me. I want to say I was 28, 29 years old. I can't remember. That's how old I am. I'm probably older than you are.
Yeah. No, yeah.
But no, great impact. He actually coached with my father at Ohio State under Woody Hayes, so there was a connection there. But no, great man, fundamental football, old school. Go back to your, Big Ten football is real football to me. It's as close to the NFL as you can get, in my opinion. And like I said, I'll probably get blown up for saying that, but I really don't care.
You've been here a couple times as a coach with Minnesota. Did you guys make a trip?
I don't think I played here with Minnesota. I think I played here when I was a player at Colorado.
Okay.
And y'all actually beat us, even though we won the national championship. I'll throw that out there. Then I was here in the NFL a couple times during when they were renovating the Bears deal. So no, I've been here a few times, but I've never actually spent a lot of time on campus.
David, you've been around some young defensive coordinators the last several years, whether it's Ryan or down to the last stop. How do you feel like you can be a resource to Aaron and help that defense?
Well, to me, it's these young cats. The truth is, they're so much smarter than I am. I mean, it just they see the game totally different than I do. Of course, Coach B sees it better than anybody. But no, it's exciting because they want to learn, and they're. Aaron's no different than Ryan was when I first got around him. I mean, they want any help they can get, as far as just because you've seen it, you've been there, you've done that. But at the same time, it's got to be the right match. You can't have you can't have an old guy who's in the room trying to cause problems and not be on the same page. But no, I'm excited, man. Coach Henry's is smarter. As smart a coach as I've been around, so I'm fired up for it. And clearly we got some things we need to fix, which I think I don't, knock on wood, I don't think it'll be a problem, but we'll see what happens.
What stands out? You mentioned things to fix. Like, what stands out when you went back and watched the DBs last year that you want to get your hands on?
That's a dang good question. So I got hired on a Thursday. I flew back out on a Saturday, and then I went out recruiting for a week, and I've been back for 3 days, and I've been in interviews. So from what I've been able to watch, you had 3 DBs drafted, man. What do we think's going to happen? Coordinator leaves, becomes a head coach, and you have 3 DBs drafted, and they're all 3 starting in the NFL. I mean, there's going to be a learning curve for these young cats. But from what I've seen watching these kids work out, we're going to be just fine.
I know you coached in college a little bit and went to the NFL when you came back to college. What did you learn from that experience coaching the NFL?
You learn to look at the game a little bit different. Again, what's right, what's wrong doesn't really. It's every place, every college, every NFL team is different. Every organization is different. Starts at the top with from the AD down to the head coach, and in pro football it starts, clearly with the owner down to the GM, and just being a pro, which is what Coach B brings to this place. I mean, we are a professional organization. That's just how it's run here, and it's exciting to be here, man. It's refreshing because it's clearly academics is number one, but after that everything is about the players and teaching them and making them understand the game. And y'all know, man, just so you know, I got a 17-year-old daughter and a 19-year-old son. My son's a walk-on at UCF. My daughter's gonna go to North Carolina and row. She's a crew, and they look at the world totally different, even 5 years ago. And you got to be able to relate. You got to be able to teach players with, no different than any other business, any other, profession that even y'all do. It's times change, and you got to change with them. And I think in the NFL, it's old school, but I also think the people who have adapted and taken that old school philosophy and been able to, like Harbaugh mentioned, NFL philosophy, but he took it into college and he wins a national championship. So we're very much built that way. Clearly, it's a matter of winning football games on Saturday.
Coach, what do you feel like you bring to the table as a recruiter, and especially in terms of what territories around the country where your experience lies?
I just spent 3 years at UCF, so I'll probably be in Florida, and that's where Coach B and myself started knowing each other. Was down recruiting in Florida back in the mid '90s. So recruiting's like anything else. As long as you adapt. One thing I know about these kids, and no matter what occupation you're in, if you want people to talk to you, you better learn how to talk to them first. And recruiting is, I think I'm pretty good at it, but I guess we'll find out here shortly.
Can you walk us through, David, how this came to be with Bret and this job came open? Like you mentioned, knowing him recruiting Florida, like how far back do you guys go, and how did this particular opportunity for you?
I think the first time I met Coach B was 1995. I was a DB coach at Kansas, and I can't remember what his title was at Iowa at the time, but they came to visit us. Maybe 96. Anyway, that's a long time ago. But no, it just, as young coaches in the profession, just kind of like I keep saying, like any other profession, you find people that you have something in common with, and you just kind of stay in contact. And it just, he called, and it like I said, it was good timing for both of us. Down through the years, we've talked multiple times, but it wasn't the right time for either one of us. So, how about this one? He was a DC at Wisconsin when he took the head job. I was the DC at Auburn in 2005. So Auburn played Wisconsin in the bowl game. Barry Alvarez's technically his last game, but so we're there hanging out and just talking and just staying in touch like friends do. Don't know if I answered your question, but y'all understand me by now.
Well, and I know you mentioned, with Aaron being an older guy in the room, like it has to be the right balance, the right touch. Like, what do you feel like you do to kind of allow him and younger coordinators to foster their growth without, I guess, overstepping, if that makes sense?
I'm gonna do whatever he tells me to do, whatever he asks me to do. He's my boss. I'm not that guy that came here to be in charge. I came here to help build this program and get it back to where it should be. And but yeah, if he asked me, I've done it so long. I'm one of the guys. If you ask me, I'm gonna tell you. If you don't want to know what I think, then don't ask me. So, but again, that's a good thing, because there's situational football. There's all kind of stuff that I've been through. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong, but I can tell you, hey, you got two options here. You got this or you got that. That doesn't always mean you got to blitz and you got to go play zone. It's just gives you different, even though you've studied and you've prepped for, Lord knows how long during the week, still when the game's on the line, it's easy to sit up in the press box and second guess a call and second guess this and that. Well, you know, if he ever does have a question about what he should do, I'm gonna give him a couple options, and they will be very educated and experienced. So.
David, I know you're just getting into this and had recruiting and all that right away, but how much have you been able to dive into last year and learn about your personnel and their scheme and all that?
You know the scheme, because I was with Coach Walters at Missouri, so the scheme actually started there. They evolved it, and clearly were as good as anybody. Were they number 1 2 years ago? I don't even know. They were great, but again, they had great players, great scheme, great coaches, and then like anything else, people come and hire you people away, and your players get drafted. And, so I mean, I know enough about it to just be dangerous, kind of like a reporter. I know just enough to be able to write an article, and people are gonna get mad at you, but there's a reason you wrote it. So you know, no, it's interesting, and I'm sure we'll adapt some now. You know, I don't think it's set in stone, the scheme. But personnel-wise, I've been around the kids 4 or 5 times. I've actually seen them run. This morning we had a 6 a.m. workout. It was the first time I actually saw them move around. So, but you know, like anything else, coaches want to talk about how good players are on signing day, and when they're out there in shorts running around. Oh, they're all great. Then on a Saturday afternoon, after somebody plays bad, oh, he stinks. So anyway, like I said, it's a professional operation organization here. They've done a good job evaluating.
David, how would you say what you've taken from every place that you've been at throughout your career?
Holy.
Yeah, you've coached with some pretty high-profile guys. And
No question. No, I've been blessed. You take a little bit, just like anything else. Reading a book, but you can't take everything from everybody. You kind of blend it into how you see it, because nobody's going to really brainwash you and make you believe what they believe all the time.
Right.
But at the same time, especially the older that you get, you young cats in the room got all the answers right now. Eventually, you're going to look back and be like, man, I should have done that. I should have listened to that cat way back then. So at least now, I can pass on some of that knowledge. But like I said, I always tell, they get mad at me because I say it 1,000 times in meetings. I ain't said it here yet, but they're about to hear it. I just provide information. I'm an information provider. Now, a lot of that information has been proven, a lot of it has failed, but I provide information. And the powers to be, the people making the calls, they're the ones who have to make decisions. So, who was the best coach I ever worked for? I've worked for some great dudes. I worked for some smart guys, offense and defense, which I've been blessed.
When you told your family, we're going to Illinois, what was the reaction?
My family,
Yeah.
they were like, it's cold up there, right? No, I'm kidding. I'm a football coach, man. Guess what we do? We change jobs. That's what we do. So I'm not going to answer that.
You've got a pretty young group of DBs. Just what do you feel is important, just in terms of development? Like what's been something throughout your career that has helped them get better?
Well, first of all, there was a few of them that had to get thrown in the fire last year, even though they had they shouldn't have been out there. I ain't seen it. That's just what I'm hearing. So they have some battle scars, which is always a good thing, because the one way I know you get better is to play football. And you can practice football if you want to, but when you play football against real cats, now you know what you need to do. Oh my goodness, I wasn't ready for that. To me, it's just consistency. Ain't no special recipe. Consistency, doing the same things over and over again, you're gonna get better at doing something. If you try to do everything again, you're gonna get better at anything. But young cats, to me, will do what you tell them to do once they know you can help them. And that's, whoever asked me about the coaching up with other coaches and other players, even in the NFL, them dudes want to get better. Them guys want to get coached. I don't care if they're making $20 million a year. They want to get better. And if they know you can help them or they think you can help them, guess what they're going to do? They're going to do exactly what you tell them to do. So in my mind, it's a lot easier to change a young guy's habits than it is an older guy's habits. So to me, the youth is, I'm excited about the youth. I think that's a positive.
Have you traditionally been a guy, you
Finish
mentioned
up with this.
being in the press box, is that traditionally where you are?
You know what, Coach Malzahn last year put me in the press box halfway through the season, first time in 27 years. So I've been a field guy, but I did kind of like it. And now that I'm up here in this weather, I'm thinking, and Coach Henry wants me on the field. I'm thinking I'm gonna go upstairs, man. And now they're gonna have those tablets, I think, where you can watch the game and all that stuff. Oh man, I'm gonna sit up there with y'all, hang out.
Either one.
Yeah, just like, what do you like about that vantage point up there for the first time? And
You can just see everything. I do believe, and I never did it because I coordinated for a long time. I'm a field guy. I'm a field guy and a field. I like to feel the game, and you don't feel the game upstairs. You just don't. But you do get, your vantage point is a lot better, which is why you guys sitting up there, you see, oh my gosh, that was an awful play by that guy. You see that crap? But as a coach, you see the same thing. I think you can kind of tell what's coming more than you can on the field. So if I'm a young coordinator, just my opinion, I tried to put Ryan up there when I first went to Missouri, and he didn't like it. But I think smart young guys who have got great vision, I think it's a big plus. The downside to it is you have to communicate it down to the field and communicate it to the players. Where if you're on the field and you can still see it, which young guys can, because they got, I keep saying young guys, they're young men, Jesus Christ. So just another level of communication is erased. But